There is a war being fought in the swamp this weekend. Miami versus Florida, my game of the week. Let's talk about it and give a prediction. First up, the swamp. How impactful is it? Over the last 10 years, Florida has played 10 top 25 opponents in the swamp. They're 6-4. 3 of those 4 losses came against top 5 teams. Miami is not one of those. So let's hop right into where Miami has the advantage. The skill position group is where I give them the edge. Damian Martinez, a transfer from Oregon State, plays really well off the tackles, running back with over 1,000 rushing yards last season. Mario Cristobal is a run the football type of guy, and this is the exact weapon he was looking for in the transfer portal. With the receivers, Xavier Restrepo, I think this guy is going to be a top 10 receiver in the country this year, and he's getting matched up versus one of the best corners in the SEC, Jason Marshall Jr. for Florida. That's going to be an awesome matchup to watch, but overall, Miami, I think, takes the slight advantage in the skill position group. Florida loses Ricky Pearsall, who was a massive part of their offense last year, and I think they're going to be missing him in this first game. The next thing I want to talk about, Florida runs a 3-3-5 defense, and I do not think that bodes well for this Miami offensive line. And by that, I mean Miami is going to take advantage of a smaller lineup in the front 7. I think that's really key. Mario Cristobal, like I said, loves to run the football, and Miami's offensive line is really talented, lots of experience, and they are going to pound the rock early and often. I definitely think that when you play on the road in a dangerous stadium, in a hostile environment like the swamp, one thing that translates is running the football. Now, Florida does have 2 defensive tackles in their 3-3-5, but I definitely think conditioning and rotation is key. I'm not sure that Florida has that. One of their defensive tackles, I think, is the heaviest player in college football history, and when it's 95 degrees in the swamp, and things are going and you're moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, I don't know how well that's going to translate play after play after play after play. You're going to need a healthy rotation. I don't know if Florida has that at an elite level, and so I give the battle of the line of scrimmage to Miami. Next thing I want to talk about the X factors for both of these teams. I think Florida is going to be forced to pass the football, and the guy from Miami to tee off on that, Ruben Bain Jr. 7.5 sacks, 9.5 tackles for loss last year as a true freshman. Not to mention 2 forced fumbles, really important for this Miami defense. I think this is going to be the best pass rusher in college football this year, anywhere. Ruben Bain Jr., make sure that you keep an eye out for him. This guy is elite. I'm thinking like Will Anderson type comps. Now, he's not a linebacker. He is a defensive end, but man, he knows how to get off the ball and get to the quarterback. That's Miami's X factor. Florida's Jeremy Crenshaw, the punter. Now, for those of you who do not think punters and kickers are people too, they are, and they play a very important factor in football games. When field position comes down to a couple of yards every now and then, when it comes to getting a touchback or downing it on the 1, unbelievably important when you have an explosive offense like Miami. I think Jeremy Crenshaw is probably the best or second best punter in the country, definitely the best in the SEC. We're going to have to see him have one hell of a game because I think Florida's offense is going to be very slow to start. Last but not least, let's talk about our prediction. Now, like I said, Florida is going to start off awful. I think that they're going to score maybe 7 to 10 points in the first half. Last year versus Utah, they only scored 3 first half points. I definitely think that's going to happen again. Graham Mertz, I don't know if he's that talented. I think he's a top 25 quarterback, but he's a game manager, not a game maker. He does not win football games for you. He definitely doesn't make the mistakes, but he does not make plays to win games. So, that all being said, Florida gets off to a slow start. Cam Ward, I think, is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He transfers in from Washington State for this Miami team, and he's going to have a field day. Last but not least, Mario Cristobal is a better head coach than Billy Napier, in my opinion. Those are the big X factors on the coaching side of things and the gameplay side of things. But last but not least, I do give the home field advantage to Florida Like I said, the Swamp is very dangerous to play in. I think this game is going to be extremely close down to the end. But my final score prediction, Miami 27, Florida 20. I think Miami can cover that spread. It's very small. I definitely give them the edge in this game. They have the skill position edge, the quarterback edge. I think that they have a better defense, and they definitely win the line of scrimmage. So, Miami 27, Florida 20. Thanks for watching. We got a couple more previews coming out. Stay tuned for those, and we'll see you next time.